Alrighty guys, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel and if you enjoyed this video. So now that Wilder Fury is off, we're going to have to look at Wilder's next opponent. So let's look at the WBC rankings to see who the heck of one of these guys are going to basically be Deontay Wilder's next opponent. So let's see who he could face. First of all, you got the #1 ranked guy is Dillian Whyte. The #1 ranked guy is Dillian Whyte. Now, Dillian Whyte, and that's what I don't understand, by the way. You know, the WBC tries to make Dillian Whyte fight, what's his name, Dominic Breazeale, to be ranked to basically win a position to face for Deontay Wilder's WBC belt. But he's already #1 ranked in the WBC rankings. What type of dumb shit is that? Anyway, you got Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is supposedly going to fight Dominic Breazeale next, right? But Dominic Breazeale is going around saying that, nah, he might ditch this fight and fight Deontay Wilder instead. So, you know, if that happens, Dillian Whyte's going to be left without an opponent. I personally would love that. I would love Deontay Wilder to defend his WBC belt against Dillian Whyte. Could you imagine, you know, because right now fans are disappointed. We all as fans feel like Deontay Wilder might fight a very low quality opponent. But could you imagine if out of nowhere we hear Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte? That would be great news. That would be a great fight. I would love that fight, you know. For a replacement for Tyson Fury rematch, I would love that fight. All right, the #2 guy is ranked Fury. Obviously, that fight's not going to happen. The #3 guy is ranked Luis Ortiz. Now, Luis Ortiz has a fight coming up with Christian Hammer. And, of course, Luis Ortiz was in a competitive fight with Deontay Wilder. That's another guy people might like. But I would, you know, if this fight gets made with Luis Ortiz versus Deontay Wilder, I want to see the same people who, I want to see what Deontay Wilder fans have to say about that. Because every time I make a video saying Anthony Joshua wants to fight Luis Ortiz, they say Luis Ortiz is old. Anthony Joshua is waiting, only wants to fight him now because he's old. So will they also accuse Luis Ortiz of being an old, washed-up fighter if Deontay Wilder fights him in a rematch this May? You know, let's see. Then, of course, you got Dominic Breazeale. This is a guy that a lot of people are saying might be the favorite to face Deontay Wilder next. Dominic Breazeale is a guy who shows a lot of heart, okay? Very tough. But do I think he beats Deontay Wilder? No. Do I think it's competitive in the fact that just in the heart department, but in the skill department, I don't think it's competitive. And I know you know, Wilder's not as a skillful heavyweight. Of course, he's not really a skillful heavyweight, but he is more talented in my opinion than Dominic Breazeale. He's much quicker. Then you got Adam Kornacki. That's a fight I would like. That's a fight I would like. Adam Kornacki versus, because Adam Kornacki is an unbeaten dude. He's a fresh face. He's making a lot of noise, and I think it would be a good look for Wilder, because let's say he goes in here and he beats Adam Kornacki, and let's say, because I think Kornacki could beat a few dudes at heavyweight. Let's say Kornacki goes on to like beat, or like go on a long unbeaten streak and keep winning fights, you know. That would just look good on Deontay Wilder's resume. You know, he's a young heavyweight Kornacki, and he's making a lot of noise, or recently, so let's see that happen. And then you got, Joseph Parker's ranked as the #6 guy in the WBC rankings. But Joseph Parker, I've read like pieces where they're saying that Joseph Parker is going to be facing, no, they're trying to make a fight with Joseph Parker and Tyson Fury. They're saying that for Tyson Fury's next fight on ESPN to be against Joseph Parker. So that's an interesting matchup right there. So he's probably not going to be available for Deontay Wilder, obviously, if he takes the Fury match. Then you got Alexander Povetkin. Now, obviously, Alexander Povetkin and Deontay Wilder have history. Both of these dudes were supposed to face each other 3 years ago. 3 years ago, Alexander Povetkin was the mandatory, in the #1 mandatory. A lot of people thought Deontay Wilder was going to vacate his belt, but he was going to fight him in Russia because they won the purse bid. But you guys know the rest. He got caught with some type of PEDs, and the fight never materialized. Then you got, oh my God, Caballero. Now, this is the dude that beat Derek Chisora. I don't want to see that fight. No disrespect to this guy, to Ajit Caballero, but come on, man. Like, who the hell wants to see Deontay Wilder versus Ajit Caballero? Ain't nobody want to see that. He's not known like that. Like, for example, Adam Kornacki and him have the same amount of fights, but more people know who Adam Kornacki is than Ajit Caballero, because, you know, Adam Kornacki is actually an entertaining fight. He's in entertaining fights. I think he's way more entertaining than somebody like, you know, Ajit Caballero. Then you got Pulev. I mean, maybe some people will want to see that fight, but I've never really been a fan of Pulev. That's why I went, eh. Oh, then you got the rarest fella, Oscar Reyes, or Reyes. I can't pronounce this guy's last name. He's ranked as the number 10 at the WBC. So this is a guy Deontay Wilder could fight. This guy just beat Brian Jennings. This guy's unbeaten too. So this is a guy that, you know, maybe Deontay Wilder. I mean, he's not a bum, although he's not really known. He's basically as known. No, actually, I would say Jarrell Miller is more known than this guy, because at least Jarrell Miller talks. Like, Jarrell Miller talks, so he puts himself in the limelight. But he's not as known. But yeah, but he's not really a known heavyweight like that. So Deontay Wilder will probably get clowned if he fought him, because they'll be like, oh look, they were saying that Joshua was fighting an unknown Miller, but look at who Deontay Wilder's fighting, this unknown guy. Oh, of course, Takam. Takam is a veteran. Takam is a guy who, you know, he just lost his last fight to, obviously, Chisora. You know, he was in there against Joshua, Povetkin. Takam, you know, I mean, I would, you know, if it's between Takam and a guy that in the ranked top 50 at heavyweight that I never heard of, obviously I would prefer Takam. But, you know, I guess, because I just want to see Deontay Wilder in big fights, and Takam's not really, like, you know, what is Takam going to do for Deontay Wilder at this point, right? He's really nothing, right? So Tony Yoka, I thought Tony Yoka was suspended. I'm surprised he's here. Wasn't he suspended from boxing for like a year? Didn't he have his license revoked or something? But yeah, he's a prospect. I don't want to see him fight Deontay Wilder right now. Chisora, no, I don't want to see that. Chisora just got knocked the fuck out against Tyson Fury. You know, excuse me, against Dillian White. I don't want to see that. Charles Martin, hell no. I mean, I know he showed a lot of heart against Adam Kornacki, but nah. And then you got Kuzman, nah. I don't want to see that fight. So this is the choice. This is the choice for Deontay Wilder's next opponents. Deontay Wilder's most definitely gonna fight one of these dudes. Takam, Reyes, you know, Guzman, Brazil, Ortiz. Personally, if it comes to me, I would want the guys I would want him to fight next, most likely is, or the guys I would want personally to fight next is Dillian White, Adam Kornacki, Luis Ortiz. I think because Luis Ortiz gave him a good fight in the first fight. Alexander Povetkin, I still think that's a good fight, Alexander Povetkin. That's interesting. We could compare Povetkin's performance against Joshua to Povetkin's performance against Wilder. And really, that's it. Those are like the four dudes I would want to see Wilder in there against next. White, Ortiz, Povetkin, Kornacki. Just as me personally, but knowing Deontay Wilder, knowing his team, they're probably gonna pick the weakest dude in this list. So, and don't be surprised if we go all the way down and he picks somebody like a Kuzman, or maybe even Pulev, or even Chisora, maybe even Charles Martin. Because like I said, Wilder has a habit of picking the weakest dudes. So don't be surprised if that ends up happening, guys. Anyway, guys, who do you guys think he should fight in this list? Let me know in the comment section below of this video. And if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for latest in boxing. I'm out.